This is Everwind, an online co-op sandbox that just dropped onto Steam into early access for $25. I've tried it before, co-op. This video I'm trying it single player to see how it is. Before you're thrown off by the graphics, this is very much adventure forward, so think the Elder Scrolls series or Skyrim. Let me know what y'all think in the comments, leave me a like if you can, subscribe for indie MMO and multiplayer co-op content, and we also have a Discord server if you want to keep up with the latest developing ones. I'm also an affiliate with Green Man Gaming. If anyone wants to buy games off there, make sure to use my link. Gives me like 5% back and really helps me out. So starting off, we are on Tutorial Island. I'm 1v1ing a skeleton. Right click to block, left click to swing, and immediately we find our first chest. It just gives us the basic tools. All the tools you could think Minecraft style. I don't think I have to explain that. But this game focuses much more on adventure. The tutorial goes on to introduce us to cooking. That is used for healing, as well as mining. We get our first little bit of copper here. It's very important down the line. And then we also are introduced to keys. There is lockpicking in this game. It doesn't have the Skyrim system though, which is a shame. It's just RNG usage. We got our first recipe right there. It is the wood helmet recipe. You do find recipes, and you also find straight up weapons and armor in this as well. Once you're outside of that little starter dungeon, which is what you'll mainly be doing in this game, dungeon diving, you want to get to work on your vehicle. Your mode of transportation in this game is a flying ship. I showed it in the intro. You find these wrecked ships all around. You can salvage them, and you can add their parts onto your own ship. Right after the tutorial, you're introduced to this. You break down these parts, and then you need to go and find an abandoned ship with a core. These are scattered throughout the land. Right here, we're swimming to our first one, and after you clean it up a bit, you can start putting down different mechanical parts. It's not as complicated as it seems. You have your basic crafting tables, and then you need to put down your helm and some engines as well as balloons. It's pretty straightforward. The game teaches you all that, and once you're set up and your engine has some fuel in it, you could whip out your hourglass, take a look at all the different sky islands, and plot your destination. You can see here we are off the ground. We are taking flight. It's a little bit slow at the start because the progression in this game also is tied to your balloon. The higher you go, the harder the game gets, it seems, and the height cap is increased as you get more materials to put into your ship. Right here, we make it to our first island. I didn't know this, but apparently they have friendly islands, which I don't think existed when I played before. I didn't have any money, so I decided to head out from there after expanding my ship just a little bit. We'll go back to that island once we have some stuff to sell and some coin. Right here, you can see speed upgrade, size upgrade, and altitude upgrade. They all take materials, and of course, as you upgrade more, it requires higher tier materials that hinder you from progressing super quick. Right here, dead ahead, we have an unexplored island with a massive castle. Down we go. Let's swim to shore. There's no fall damage in the water, thankfully. We come across our first hostile mob, which was this guy that shoots out skulls. Those things explode, and they're super strong, and he also has some invisibility. We are using just our basic wooden sword. You can go the melee route with one or two-handed weapons. You can use a bow and arrow, or you can use magic items. I'll show you some later. They're a little bit more rare, and they have limited uses. You can recharge them as you progress through the game. But that island was too hard. Those purple guys were beating me up, so let's head out to another island. This one looks good down here, nice and green. I was thinking at the time that these sea level islands would be easier, so let's check it out right here. The game looks really nice. I will say it's a lot easier in co-op. I'm not sure if it scales, but right here I found my first copper vein deposit. Copper is super important for upgrading your ship as well as for gearing yourself up. There are a decent amount of points of interest on the various islands. Right here we have a well. Nothing really seems down there, but we found some mobs we can fight. These skeletons seem the easiest. I only do 4 damage a hit, and the dude has 125 health, so it's like, what is that, literally 30 hits or something? Finally went down. We got our first shield recipe, which is great. Makes it a little bit easier for us to block, and we also found our first rune, which you just apply little buffs to any weapon that you want. But it seems like these starter guys are going to be skeletons. Although we're moving fast, I've gathered up a lot of junk, so I wanted to fly back to that friendly island to see if we can get any new recipes, because nothing seemed to be dropping from any of the mobs or from the chests. Got myself some leather gear recipes, and then one of our subscribers was watching our stream and let me know that there was third person in game, which is also new, so a lot of this video will now be in third person. I also asked chat what recipe we should buy for our first weapon, and nobody responded, so I bought this first one. I thought it was going to be a two-handed mace, but turns out I was wrong. It was just a one-handed mace, so went back, bought myself the two two-handed one, crafted that up, and it seems like it's a Flintstone style hammer. I also found a massive house on this friendly island, and I broke in through the window, and it turns out it was like kind of like the Jarl, like on Skyrim, how, you know, whoever runs the city has the biggest house. I think that's kind of what it was going for, but the game is in early access, so I don't think this part of the game is finished yet. Oh, what's this? We could break into their chests and their desks, you say. That made the game a whole lot more fun. I think they're gonna have a cop system and ways where you shouldn't be doing that out in the open, but for now, you can freely steal from the villagers. So let's fly away to another island. We have our huge mace. I'm hoping it's pretty strong. It's about twice as much damage per hit, so yep, we're slamming them pretty good. It's got a wider arc, and enemies cannot block our two-handed weapon attacks. Even if they hold their shield up, it still damages them through that. So if you use one-handed weapons, they do block a portion of your damage, if not all of it. Right here we have these annoying pink guys. They shoot out their skulls that do a ton of damage. Third person's a little bit wonky. It's just experimental, but I still ran with it. Ended up clearing this little fortress of ghost dudes after struggling a little bit, and we found this locked up gem, and then I pondered my life for a little bit. Turns out these gems are used for upgrading your weapons. It's just straight up damage increase. Just consume a gem and hope for the best. You need to get into cooking or alchemy to regen health, so I've been fighting boars to get their meat. And then I found a creepy cemetery, was trying to loot it up, but turns out these ghost dudes are also here. I leveled up from clearing that cemetery. Here's just a little look at the melee tree. Arcanist is just to boost the magic damage from magic items you find, which we haven't found yet, and engineer is just for utility and boosts to building. So let's find another island. We got McDonald's Island right there. Another similar setup, kind of swampy. We got the ghost guys again. You could see a repeating pattern. And then I finally found a different mob, and I'm shooting at it, and I'm like, this guy's not moving. And if you see on top, he has a ton of health, so I wasn't about to shoot him 700 times to knock him. He did, however, have some shiny stuff next to him, so checked it out. It was a monolith. I, however, am growing tired of these purple ghosts, so let's get out of here. I did see another shiny shard, so went back to grab that real quick. After that, I took the time to do some cooking and some crafting, so here I am at another island. I have full leather gear now, so take a little bit less damage, which is great. Again, these ghosts, dude. This is like our 7th or 8th island. I'm getting tired of these guys. Let me pop up some YouTube. We got John Bravo. Oh god, Wes Watson again. At this point, I was tired of fighting those guys, and I was desperate for copper. You've seen all the copper I found so far was just that deposit, so I set off to Tutorial Island because people in Discord were saying that's a good way to find copper. Scoured the whole place, didn't find any, so flew off to another island, and I was looking at the undercarriage of these islands because sometimes you could see ore there. So check it out. There's one copper right there. Here's another island. I'm just circling around. I couldn't find any more, so I kind of went crazy and just started hammering into the side of these islands and just going for it, but I couldn't find any. Set off to a couple more islands, and I found this tiny one and just started digging down because I saw some copper down below. That didn't work, so went to the anus. I don't know what to call this. Oops, I shouldn't say that. Went to the underside of the island and started mining there. Seems like that's kind of the best method if there's none on the surface of an island. Unfortunately, still only found a couple. Went to another island, and I started trashing my ship, adding up some stairs so that I could get to this one spot that had a ton of copper, so I was really happy about that. That was about an hour and a half or so of just riding around trying to find copper. Oh god, here's another one. Okay, and then I found one more island with another batch of copper, so that took about an hour and a half, 2 hours. With all that copper, I upgraded my ship and went up higher, checking out some other dungeons. These guys had a bunch of skeletons, so pounded them down. Made it to the end of the dungeon, and let's see. Oh man, freaking wooden helmet. Oh, but we found our poison scepter actually. This is our first magic weapon. I'll show it later. It has limited uses for now, so I didn't use it too much at the start. Found some sulfur on my way to the next island. I don't know how many islands we're at this point, but it's been a lot of them. Landed on top of this huge garrison for a change. This place was massive. I'm working my way from the top to the bottom. This is the highest altitude we've been at, and this is about 6 or 7 hours into the progression at this point. I've gotten a bit higher. These guys have some more health and armor. Unfortunately, they don't really drop weapons or much armor. I'm kind of disappointed with the loot system in this game. You can see me here, I'm checking out this desk, and it's like, come on bro, just a banner recipe? Like, I need gear. So this guy was legendary, 210 health, almost took me out. Run and heal, and then I thought I might as well use this scepter we found, so finish him off there. What do we get? We got a couple runes and wooden gloves. Come on, man. Not super helpful. Cleared that whole garrison though with that boss at the end. Went to another island, did the same thing, found a beer recipe, found a golden chest, and it just had a stone axe in it. Come on. Slammed a bunch more skeletons, broke a bunch of barrels. There's tons of barrels everywhere. And finally found a cool boss and start swinging at him through the gate, and whoops, he got me and I went down. Kinda sucks. So I made my way back, blocked it off, got my stuff back, and kinda cheesed him, tried to hit him through the open little spots. Ended up using the scepter. I'm thinking, why not at this point? Because I am getting a bit bored. I'm not finding any cool loot or anything. The first time I played this, I found some cool loot like in Skyrim, like enchanted weapons, but this time I never found any. Maybe they nerfed it? I'm not sure. Cleared this last dungeon. It took like half an hour. Found another banner and bench recipe. Come on, man. Okay, this is officially the last island. I'm not doing this again. Tried out the new wooden axe that we got. We're still using wood at 8 hours in. It kind of sucks. Make my way down this other dungeon. Everything seems kind of repeating at this point. These guys have more health, so I'm hoping that they'll have some unique items. These are the hardest guys I have fought. I found a little dagger and I try it out. It does 4 damage. It's not very much, and it uses a lot of stamina to swing. You can see on the bottom left the green bar. So if I do 4 damage a hit, I have to swing 20 times, and there's just not enough energy for that. Finally found my first copper blade recipe. It's my first semi-decent weapon, which I don't think is even that great for this level of combat. I really do suggest you play this with a buddy. We did really good last time as a duo. Right here you can see I found some random hex rat. It's like the first new enemy I've seen in a while. And then as we got deeper, there are some stronger guys in here. Using the scepter, I took them out. Didn't find anything interesting besides this new spell that's kind of busted. I couldn't really use it very well. I'll show you in a second. That's kind of the end of my adventures. I went really fast, but legit that was hours of fighting in dungeons. I went back to the friendly village and bought some copper recipes, crafted myself some copper gear, and decided to take out my frustration on the villagers. Felt pretty decent at the start, especially how they ragdoll. Man, it feels good. Took out some shopkeepers, took out some citizens. I tried to use this thorn spell thing, but it was kind of buggy. I don't really know how it works. And then I decided I'm gonna go hit up the Jarl's house, and they had some super high defense and damage. So I'll just end it there. You can just watch in the outro. I didn't actually get anything from these guys. They don't drop anything interesting, which is kind of sad. But that's been my adventure. After recording and editing this, I guess I didn't do all that much. This is in early access, so I'm hoping they flesh out a lot more of this game. But I think the bones are there. I mean, this is basically like Skyrim Minecraft, right? If they can flesh out the villages and the items a bit more, as well as the gear progression, I think it would feel better. Also, the progression with your skills doesn't seem all that impactful. I think the game is lacking in that department. I didn't show you much on the building side of this game. You can build anywhere you want with any material that you find, as long as you've discovered that block before. But I think the concept is interesting. The lockpicking is a lot of fun, breaking into houses and stuff. When they actually add that system with like the cops, I think it'll be a lot cooler. And then I think they gotta really have a lot more unique weapons. I found some when I first played a few months ago, and I didn't find any this time. So I don't know if they nerfed it or they need to add more or whatever. But let me know what y'all think in the comments. This is just a quick one. It came out only last week, so you can go and try this out for yourselves if you want. I highly suggest playing in co-op. Building out a cool ship and having cabins is a lot of fun, and it's like your home base. It's awesome. Leave me a like if you made it this far. Subscribe for indie MMO and indie co-op content. It's all we cover on this channel. We mainly cover indie MMOs, but I have a few really cool indie co-op games that are just worth sharing, so hopefully you guys enjoy these. We also have a Discord server if you want to keep up with the latest developing cool games. Definitely check that out. We have 1300 on there. I also stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday on Twitch and YouTube. No ads. Come and hang out. I share any cool playtests and projects in development on there. And you could also join in with me if it is free to play. Thank you everyone who made it this far. Thank you to our Patreon subscribers, our Twitch subs, our YouTube members, and our donators on stream. I'm also an affiliate with Green Man Gaming. If anyone wants to buy games off there, make sure to use my link. It gives me like 5% back and really helps me out. That's all for me. It was just a quick one. Hope you enjoyed it, and until next time, I will see you in game.